Hello there, welcome. In this video, we're going to dive into MidJourney's app or the MidJourney app. Now, many of you have been requesting this particular video right here, so we decided to make a video that details the MidJourney app. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So in order to access the MidJourney app, you have to go to midjourney.com, in which case if you click enter, it will add a /home there, so that's the difference. And basically, if you click on log in, you can either continue with Discord, in which case you can open up Discord on the browser, or you can just simply use Discord on your computer, as I've explained many times. But I'm going to click continue with Google. And of course, in order to use the MidJourney app, you must have the MidJourney membership. So I've just, for the sake of this particular course right here, I have purchased another $10 MidJourney membership because I have another membership, but I've decided to add another membership as well because that would be quite interesting to have two memberships, and I'm going to cancel it the next month. But the bottom line is that when you're here, you will notice that this is very simple, all right? So don't let this overwhelm you. Don't let this intimidate you. It's a very simple and straightforward platform. And you can already see here that these are a couple of designs that have been created by designers before us, right? So these are a couple of designers that have been creating some interesting designs. And you can see right here what they actually look like. I don't want to scroll anymore because sometimes some people might generate something that is not appropriate to show. But you might get some inspiration. For example, this design here would work perfectly on a t-shirt or on a print art. And you can see a lot of people working and creating printables, which is fantastic, by the way, because they're making money from selling digital products. Now here, in order to create something, you need to click on the create button, right? And quite frankly, you don't even need to do it because you can just imagine something from here. But I'm going to click on the create button, and you can switch from light mode to dark mode by clicking this button below, in which case this is better for your eyes because if you're using the light mode, it's not good for your eyes. You see a couple of designs that I've created over here, and they sound pretty weird. But we're going to have to create a couple of designs, right? So the settings inside of the MidJourney app are quite simple and straightforward. You just need to click here on this bar, and it will show you all the settings that you need to see in the world. So you can control the image size that you want to generate, which is as opposed to MidJourney on Discord, you'd have to add that comma, space, hyphen, hyphen, right? Which can be quite frustrating because you have to type on your own size. You have to say hyphen hyphen AR and then the space, and then you put the size. For example, if it's 2x3, you put 2x3. But the other model gives you more freedom, by the way. It gives you more freedom because you can actually even use pixels. Here, you can use inches, okay, which is good, but it doesn't give you more options because sometimes you might want to generate an image in 4,000 by 4,000 pixels, right? You might want to generate an image with a high DPI, right? For instance, if it's printable, you might you would need to use the Discord because, like I said, you have this option to add hyphen hyphen AR, and you can say anything you like. For example, 4,590 pixels by 2,690 pixels, which is something that you cannot do on the MidJourney app. So that's one of the major things. But apart from it, they made it easy for you if you don't like to write prompts and syntax and all of that. And they made it easy for you. You can just toggle back and forth. And there are three sizes. There are, let's just say, worldly renowned. There are standards. So the portrait size, this square size, and the landscape size. But you can actually toggle back and forth and choose the size you like. So if it's 9:16, which we already know it's friendly with TikTok videos, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, and even Facebook Reels, you can actually also choose that size. You can choose less size than that if you would like. And if you want it, for example, be a YouTube video image, then you can go for 16:9 inches or 4:3. But 16:9 inches is basically the size that is used for videos, right? Generally speaking. You can go back to square. Here, when it comes to the mode, you can either go for a standard mode or a raw mode, right? So the standard mode is standard mode, the raw mode is raw mode, and you can actually read more about this. So for example, here it's saying raw mode replaces the default aesthetic of some MidJourney model versions, using it this can help you create more photorealistic images, right? So basically, the raw mode is inclined to create, let's just say, realistic images. Instead, the standard mode is basically if you're interested maybe to create something more artistic, right? And they're explaining it here quite well. I'm going to switch to the raw mode. As far as the version, when it comes to the version, you can choose any version you like. So from the Niji mode to the other modes. Now here, as far as I can see, because I've selected the raw mode, I can't actually use all modes. So I'm going to switch to standard so that they can show us all the other modes. So here's the thing, you see, if you switch to raw, notice they will show you less versions, okay? They'll only show you Niji 6, and then MidJourney version 5.1, 5.2, 6, and 6.1, but they won't show you more than that. But if you switch to the standard version, they will show you all Niji modes. There's Niji 4, Niji 5, Niji 6, and by the way, there was even Niji 3. I don't know what they did with it. Probably they removed it. And from version 1 to version 6.1, we are at 6.1 right now, at least here, because in here, in the Discord, because I'm already trying to show you the difference between both and where the similarities are. So if you go to Discord, if you click /, you can actually execute any certain prompt or command, we call it in Discord. And if you choose the settings option, you can click enter, in which case it's basically going to show you all the settings. And right here, you can see that pretty much all the versions that you have over there, you have over here. So from MidJourney version 1 to version 6.1, we have MidJourney Niji mode, right? So from version 4, version 5, we have the version 6, which is also called version alpha. And yeah, so pretty much the same versions. And then you can also leave the personalization on or off. I'm going to leave it off. Here, as far as the stylization, one thing you need to know about stylization is the lower it is, the more the image is going to look more like your prompt. The higher the stylization, I'm sorry for that, that sounded funny, but the higher the stylization is, the more the image or the more MidJourney is going to try to add its own creative touch. All right, so we can do an experiment right now. So for example, we can generate an image of a phoenix at a very low stylization rate, and we can generate one with a high stylization rate, and you will see the difference. But first I'll have to switch to version 6.1, my preferred version. The Niji versions are if you're interested to create anime photos, okay? And here you can see the weirdness. They even added the weirdness option, which is something that you can also do in MidJourney Discord by adding it as a command or as a syntax, which very little people or very few people talk about. But if you want your images to be weird, kind of like this alligator here, which he's on paper. If I click, the alligator is standing on paper, and his colors are more like the background. This is quite weird. So if you want that kind of weird, then you can actually set the weirdness to a high level, but I'm going to set it to a low level. We don't want our image to be weird. We also don't want a very high stylization. And the variety is how different do you want your images to be from each other's? Because MidJourney generates 4 images at a time. It's known to generate 4 images at a time. You can do nothing about it. You can't ask it to generate 2 or 3 images at a time or 1 image at a time. It will generate what we call a quadrant of images. And pretty much the only tool that I personally know that generates images according to your own demand is Leonardo. That's why we also have a section about Leonardo. And Leonardo is quite fantastic because it basically helps you out to choose. If you want to generate 2 images, you can generate 2 images. If it's just 1 image, you can generate 1 image, or a quadrant, or even 8 images at a time if you want to do it. And here, obviously, you can only generate 4 images at a time. And of course, the variety means that those 4 images, they're going to be different from each other the higher the variety goes. So if you put the variety at a very high level, then the first image is going to look nothing like the second image, like the second alternative or the element of the quadrant. The third is going to look nothing like the other, so they're going to be very different from one another. For example, because these images of these phoenixes or phoenix have been generated at a low variety, you can see they're not really so different from each other's, okay? So they're pretty much close, okay? Really close to each other's. But the higher the variety goes, the more you'll notice that the images start to look very different than each other's, okay? And here, as far as the speed is concerned, you can actually choose between fast mode and turbo mode. And even here, if you go back to MidJourney, if you click /settings, as a matter of fact, we still have it here. You can see we have the turbo mode, the fast mode, the relax mode, which I don't have here, right? I don't have the option to choose the relax mode. I only have the option to choose the fast mode and the turbo mode. And by the way, the relax mode, you'll have to pay extra, okay? You'll have to go for the $30 plan per month, even if I have it here, but I can't actually use it, all right? Now, as far as the personalization, right, we still have that. The stylization here, when it comes to the Discord, we don't have it the same way that we have it here. So here we have this bar that you can actually toggle back and forth, which is pretty nice. But here you can only choose from these. And by the way, it's pretty much the same because here, if I toggle here, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. So approximately about 4 or 5, which is pretty much here all the styles that we have. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And as far as the variation, you can vary images. But first of all, let's go and create a couple of images. Now, we're going to click on the settings option, and we're actually going to lower it to the minimum, the variety also to a minimum. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of prompts that I actually asked ChatGPT to create. Here we have a majestic dragon guarding a crystal castle, dramatic sky, intricate scales. So what I will do with this is I will actually copy this particular prompt. Then I will go back here into MidJourney and I will just simply paste it in, okay? Now, if I actually want to generate an image now, I just have to click on enter. It's almost like doing a research on Google, and everything you put in the settings will be taken into consideration. So the size here was square. That's why you see that we're generating a square image right now. You can see here the it's at 33% at this point. And here at this on this particular image, or this option allows you to add images. So in case you want to add an image to your next prompt, you can just drag an image. So for example, let's see the difference between this particular image that was generated and an image that we will generate by adding an image of a dragon. So I'm going to go ahead and look for a dragon image, Pixabay. I'm going to look for a copyright-free image. It's very interesting for me to take this golden dragon image. I quite like it because it really gives some very good results. Now, inside of the MidJourney app, you don't have many options that you have in Discord, such as the /describe, the blending options, and so on and so forth and whatnot, the swap faces, and all that amazing stuff, which is available on Discord, and we have taught you. But because you have wanted us to create a lecture about the MidJourney app, we're happy to do this, and we just want to show you the advantages, the pros and the cons, right? The pros are you don't need to learn a thing about the Discord, right? Because there's a lot of syntaxes to be taken into consideration. You might have to go through a 6-hour lecture or 6-hour videos that we taught you, so it will take you some time to master it. But when it comes to the app, any person can use it from day one, right? With some limitations, of course, that only creatives will understand, right? Because not everybody wants to use this tool to the fullest capacity. Now here, if you want to look at an image, you click on it, and you can actually either toggle back and forth with your mouse, in which case you can toggle even back and forth to the previous results that you have, right? So you can toggle back and forth. It's like this. So you can see all the previous images that you have generated. And you can see right here, we have the image of a dragon. It's pretty cool, by the way. And you can scroll down. You can see it's guarding a crystal castle. And we have a couple of very weird dragons over here. That's pretty nice. And you might take an image that you might like. For instance, I happen to like this particular image right here. If you want this image to be varied, let's say you want to generate a variation of this image, okay? You have two options, either very subtle or very strong. And even if you go back to Discord, for example, I have these images. If you want to vary an image from them, you have the V option, which if you click, it'll take you to here. And you can actually even add a remix to it and click submit and vary it because we have made sure we clicked remix here, right? And you can choose the variation mode. It's fixed. So it's not like the other one where it's giving you the option each time to choose the variation mode that you want to use. In this case, they're not giving you that. Or in the case of Discord, you have to do it and set it up. But in this case, they give you the freedom each time to either use a very subtle or a very strong. If I click very strong, what's going to happen is they're actually going to take this image as a parent image, and they're going to create a new image based on this particular image that's going to be different from it. with a very strong, right? So it's going to be very different, right? But if I click very subtle, it's going to create an image that's pretty much looking quite like this, right? It's not going to make it very different, right? And you can also upscale, right? So if you seek to upscale an image, you can upscale it either in a subtle way or in a creative way. And we have more options that we're going to explore. But as of now, let's close and go ahead and look at the variation that we have created or have received. So based on this image, we have created yet another quadrant of images. You can see that they're pretty much inspired by the other image, except for the variation is quite strong, right? So it's not looking exactly the same, right? So the variation is strong. Each dragon looks significantly different than the other, but I quite like what I'm looking at. This is amazing. So how about if we actually want to go into the editor? So if I actually go and click editor, now it'll take us to the editor mode, in which case, if you want to actually edit a couple of things here, you can actually edit. So if you want to erase, for example, the dragon eyes, you can erase them, and you can go back by clicking here. So there's a couple of things. You can change the size of the eraser. You can actually scale it back and forth and scale it down. And there's a whole bunch of things that you can do. You can even go for different sizes. So if you want a 16 by 9 inches size, and you can do it. You can scale your image however you actually wish, which is something that we weren't able to do in the previous mode. And you can try this restore option as well by increasing this a bit. And if I try to click here, there's nothing to add. Restore can be used, for example, if you have erased something, you can use the restore option to actually get back what you have erased, but you can just simply go back here and do this. And you have this option, which is basically to reset things, which is going to put things back how they were. But if you want to resize an image from here, let's say that, for example, you don't like it at that size, you can actually resize it directly from here without actually taking it to Canva, which is a very, very good thing. But you can only resize it enough, right? So we can't scale this image past a certain limit. So, for example, from 1 by 1, you can only go to a scale of about 4 by 3, and you can always basically reset options. And if you want to exit this, you can just simply exit it by clicking on this button, which is close or back. I'm going to click close, and you can click on an image as well here. And we have other options such as use image, right? We have style. We have the rerun option, which basically means that it's going to take this and it's going to rerun the generation of this image. So basically what it says, it's going to give it another shot, right? With the same prompt, but it's going to see what it gets, right? With the same prompt. Now, in case you want to search for a particular image right here, you can actually click on the search bar and type what you want to search for. So if you have used dragon as part of your prompt, if you search for dragon, every single thing or every single prompt where you've used the word dragon is going to come out. And you can see right here that after using that image, and quite surprisingly, the results are very, very different because we have used that option, which is to basically rerun, right? We have just simply rerun. And you can change, like I said, you can change the models. Now I'm using 6.1. And remember that if you want realistic images, you can go for the raw mode. But as of now, what we're going to do, we're going to actually increase the stylization to a very high level. We're going to increase the weirdness and the variety. And let me show you the weird results that we're going to get. So I'm going to take this particular prompt right here, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to paste it in. And as well, I want you to click on this option to upload something. And you can actually go ahead and take an image. So for instance, we have the dragon image, which I can upload directly, or I can choose the file from my computer. And you can, at any point in time, click out and then click here and then enter, just like a Google prompt. And you can actually go ahead about your generation. Now, also, you can click right here. And like I said, you can change the size, maybe try a couple of different sizes, maybe try a couple of different models. Now, I'm going to try a different size, maybe something that's a little bit wider. And I'm going to go ahead for a different model. So let's say we go for a Niji mode. And as far as the Niji mode, let's actually increase the weirdness a bit, increase the stylization. And let's see what it gives us with the same prompt that we have used. So if I actually click enter, note that it's going to go ahead and start generating. And because these images are bigger, you can see they're taking quite a lot of size. And here, these are the options that we have generated right here. You can see that these are very beautiful looking dragons. They're absolutely not realistic, even though we are using a model that's supposed to generate realistic images. And I'm going to click right here. I'm going to click on options. I'm going to switch to the raw mode, but this time I'm going to go for 6.1 inches. And right now, or 6.1 as the model. And right now, let's generate with the raw mode, right? Except for when it comes to the stylization. Yeah, let's keep it high and let's generate. Let's see. If I actually hit enter, let's watch what happens. And here you can see the results of the Niji mode, as you could expect from something that would generate results based on an anime. So it kind of gave us some anime-like pictures. This one is by far the best-looking one, in my honest opinion. This one is also great, but this one is absolutely fantastic. And here you can see the results of the raw mode. Raw mode inspired by an image. Okay, so we have taken an image of a dragon statue, and we got inspired by it. And here it has given us these results, right? And that's because in the prompt we didn't use the word golden, but it created some statues of some dragons, and these can actually really pass as real statues of images. So you can really have some fun. And here, this one is looks like a statue, but looks more real than a statue. And you can actually close. But because we're using the raw mode, you can see that the results are kind of realistic, right? So here, let's say, for example, we generate a different image of an elven queen, right? And we go ahead over here in the create option, we paste it in. I'm going to click right here, and I'm actually going to go for raw mode. In the images section, click and make sure that you go ahead and remove this image because you don't want it to be inspired by a dragon. And then you can click right here. You can increase the stylization. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to keep it high. But the weirdness, I'm going to keep it low. The variety, I'm going to keep it high. Fast mode, raw mode, 6.1. Landscape, but I'm going to go a little bit portrait type size, right? Kind of like this. These are the friendly sizes for Instagram, 5.5 by 6. And if I actually go ahead and generate, it will proceed to generate. You can also see that when you increase the stylization, that the results are very, very different, right? So that's that. And whenever you want to download an image, let's say you like this image and you want to download it, you can just click it. And you can simply click on this button right here, which is to download the image. It might take some time. It might take you more than one click. I've always not really figured this one out about this MidJourney app, so it can be quite frustrating to download something. In this case, it downloaded it fast, to be fair, but in some cases, it might take some time. And you can see right here, we have these beautiful pictures of an elven queen, and you can also drag and drop this particular picture right here into the let's just say into this tab in case you want to use it for inspiration, right? So, and you can actually take it out. And you, like I said, you can toggle back and forth, and you can see right here that this is truly amazing. And we have a lot of options. The first one is the most realistic one, but that's because probably we went for a high variety, right? It's fairly high variety. We can lessen the variety and the weirdness. And right now, if we try the same prompt, paste in, let's see, 11 queen with flowing robes. Let's generate another result this time with the same prompt. And once you type the prompt, the good thing is that it takes this away from here, right? Which is pretty cool, right? So it clears the palette for you. But apart from that, this is it. Now, of course, this is a pretty good alternative for Discord for those of you that don't like to use Discord. Even though I highly recommend that you use both. Obviously, Discord offers you a lot more options than the other app. The app also offers a lot of options that the app here doesn't offer. And just one of the options that the Discord offers you is, for example, you can actually zoom out, which is something that you don't get in the app. The variations, you have them here directly linked to the image. You can upscale from here directly. You can make an image square if you'd like. You can actually use these options, which basically will show more of the left side and more of the right side, up and down, if you want to increase the image, and so on and so forth. But like I said, every single thing has its advantages. And here, look at this. So these are the results of the Elven Queen prompt, and they're looking quite fantastic. I would assume that I should win a golden prize because of these results. They're looking quite fantastic. Maybe someone could use them in a Lord of the Rings movie. They could get inspired by this. But you can see that this is really fantastic stuff. All right. So to wrap this up, this is it for this particular tutorial. I've been promising to add this for a long time, and now is the time for us to add it. I hope that you can enjoy this course, and wishing you the best as always, Passive Income Gen Z, and signing out. And also remember to let us know what you would like us to create an update about in the future. Wishing you the best as always. Take good care.